to Reaper's Candle, guys. I was sick for a couple of days, that's why the videos have been delayed. I would also like to make an thank you to all the new subscribers. We are up to 96, so let's keep it on going, guys. The more the merrier, right? And the more people that we have, the more input that I can get and feedback that I can get to make the readings more accurate and more detailed. So thank you for those new subscribers. Specifically, like the public subscribers that I did notice subscribed was Iris Cohen, Sky Creation, Mariam Ahmed, and Shika Sinha. So thank you guys for subscribing. And today's reading, we are taking a look at how you can make your relationship better. So basically think about any person, doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could be a family member, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, anyone. So whoever you want to ask about, just ask for them and or think about them, and then ask this question: how can I make our relationship better? If that is what you are looking to do with the relationship. So I would like to make an announcement though as well that I have been trying to keep a schedule for these tarot readings, but it seems that there's always something going on during the weekends, and during the week it's a very slow period in my life, and I'm focusing obviously on my own personal things and my finance and career related things. So it can be sometimes difficult to keep that same schedule, especially since I'm doing this more of as a hobby and to practice my skill in reading rather than as an actual side hustle or business. So yeah, I'm going to try to upload videos on a weekly basis, but just whenever I get the inspiration or I feel like I'm being drawn to do them. Because even though I'm sick right now, I have a lot more energy right now, and I felt that I should go and do a reading for everyone today, rather than taking the rest of the week off as I had planned, and then uploading a new video at the end of the week. So I'm just gonna try to do that now with my videos. So if anyone was like waiting for the videos based on schedule, just turn your notification bell on for the channel so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be alerted for that. And then you can decide whether you want to watch the video if the topic is interesting for you or not. Okay? Rather than checking every week to be like, oh, there's a new video this week, but there isn't because I haven't uploaded it on a schedule. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say to you guys. And once again, thank you to all the new subscribers. And we are going to get started on the reading. So take a moment to meditate, take a few deep breaths, center yourself, zone or ground yourself, whatever you need to do to kind of really be in tune with your instinct. And yeah, I'm going to give you guys a moment to ask the question pertaining to the specific person that you have in your head. How do I make our relationship better? You can even replace the word better with a specific term that you would like to improve in the relationship. For example, if you're talking about like a spouse or a romantic partner, maybe you want to say, how can I make the relationship more romantic? Or if you're talking about a parent and child relationship, how can I make the relationship more patient or more communicative? Something like that. So you can replace that adjective however it seems fit to you. But then I'll just do the reading based on whatever you guys picked. Okay? So how can I make my relationship fill in the blank with this person? And I'll give you a moment to select your piles. Okay, now that you guys have selected your piles, let's get started with pile 1's reading, and then we'll go pile 2, then pile 3. Okay? Enjoy! Okay, Pile 1, welcome to your reading, and just as a disclaimer, if this reading resonates, please hit the like button. If you want to watch more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you have any feedback, good or bad, doesn't matter, please do leave it in the comments below so I can make my readings more accurate and more enjoyable for everyone that is watching the channel. Okay, so onto your reading. Pile 1, you guys picked this lipstick, which is called Gallop. And just from that, you can tell that whoever this person is that you're thinking of, right, and the relationship, the way to make it better, and I'm going to use better instead of whatever adjective you guys use because I'm not a psychic medium, so I don't know what adjective you guys are using. And plus also there's a general reading, so many of you might be using different adjectives for the relationship. But with asking this question, how to make your relationship better with whoever this person is, basically I got a feeling that you have to be very active, fun, and free. Those were the 3 adjectives that kind of came into my head. And the image that I was seeing was, if you guys have seen the movie Spirit, it's kind of that scene where the song is going on in the background and he's free and he can finally roam the American fields and run around and be the wild horse that he is meant to be. That's the kind of feeling that I was getting in here. And especially because the lipstick color is also dark, it almost feels like you're a wild brown American horse that just wants to be fun and free and very active. So to make the relationship better, you have to embody that feeling, that it's not really a childish vibe, but it's more of like almost like a young adult vibe or like a college student vibe where they're experimenting and they're trying out new things and they're having fun doing it and not taking things too seriously, but also there's a limit to how they want to expend their energy. They don't want to cross the border and get into trouble or get into some sort of extreme circumstance because of their actions. So it's a very simple freedom of just being able to do the things that make you happy and doing them with a very fresh-eyed or very open heart. And yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. So just approach whatever relationship you guys are thinking about in a more passionate way, I guess, and in a more open-hearted manner. Okay, so I asked what you guys should do to make your relationship better with whichever person you guys are thinking about, and the card that came out was the Sun. So again, it's that fiery energy coming out, and the Sun especially has to do with I always view it as a knowledge card, and that's exactly what I got as well. With that passionate energy, it's basically saying try to get to know them more. Okay, so whoever this person is, try to figure out what do they like, what do they not like, what are their hobbies, and things like that. And try to initiate the dating. So try to plan the dates or try to plan these outings with them so that you can learn more about them. And I'm seeing more of picnics or going to the park or maybe going on a hiking trail. It doesn't have to be a mountain hiking trail or a hill and valley hiking trail. It could just be one of those simple forest trails that people jog and walk in, but somewhere where you guys feel calm and serene and a little bit away from the hustle and bustle of society, so that you guys can actually spend some time together and get to know each other on a more personal and comfortable level, rather than having the energy of people around you and the environment around you kind of interfering with your bonding energy and connection. Okay? And then with the Chariot in reverse, I'm actually seeing that as a confirmation of this fast-moving energy mixed with this slow energy of the Sun. So you have to be passionate, of course, but you're also have to be passionate in a patient sense almost. So don't worry about things moving too slowly or too fast. You're just trying to get to know them. But try to kind of initiate that first foot forward, or like trying to initiate the energy that you want to get to know them better, rather than waiting for them to kind of ask you out on a date or ask you to go out for some coffee just to like be more better friends or anything like that. So you should be the one initiating things, and don't worry about what the answer is going to be, or how fast or slow the relationship is going to take place, or how fast or slow this relationship will get better. As long as you have this passionate energy, as long as you're interested in the relationship and you approach it in a way that's like curious about the other person and with initiative, you'll be fine. Okay? And right under is also Six of Coins. So again, it's this idea of being generous towards other people. So being the first to actually initiate that step towards other people and offer them an opportunity rather than waiting for them to offer one to you. So pile one, now based on that first card, I asked what you guys can do to kind of initiate these outings, or ask this person that you're asking about out on these dates or outings. And Ace of Swords and the Magician came out. So you have to be confident and very clear when you're talking to this person. And with the Magician, you kind of have to try to hype them up about it so that they'll be willing to accept your invitation. Okay? I'm seeing someone going up to someone in like a cafe or something and asking them if they would be interested in kind of hanging out over the weekend or going, I don't know, for a walk or a jog or something. And it seems like this person knows whoever they're talking to. I'm seeing a girl, a white girl, like maybe like 27, 28 years old maybe. Young, but not too young. Like, you're an adult. And I'm seeing like her wearing like a tank top and tights maybe with some sneakers. And maybe she's got like a crop top, like khaki jacket or something. And she's got her hair up in a ponytail and towards the back. She's got dirty blonde hair, I guess, or brownish hair with blonde streaks in it. That's what I'm seeing right now. But the thing is that you, the pile one viewers, you guys have to be confident and clear and just walk up to this person, just completely calm, and just shoot out the idea. Like, hey, I was wondering if you wanted to go out for a walk this weekend or something. Or do you want to hang out this weekend? Something like that. And then when I think they're going to ask you, well, what are you going to do this weekend? Or they might ask you, like, actually, they might be a little curious, but they also might be, like, a little confused as to why you're asking them, like, because this may come out of the blue. Because you guys know each other, but you may not have ever hung out, like, on the weekends without other people, or you guys aren't, like, super close. Like, you're not best friends or anything like that, and you guys don't hang out all the time. It's usually, like, around a group of friends or mutual friends and things like that. Or maybe, like, you guys met, I don't know, with your best friend, and this person is their brother, or this person is, like, related to that other person that you're hanging out with. Okay? So there's definitely a feeling that you guys know them for a long time and you guys are comfortable with them, but you guys have never had like a super connective relationship or a super deep relationship with each other. It's being very casual and very friendly. So with this Magician thing, either they're going to be confused but curious, and you may not even give them a chance. Like, as soon as you ask this question, you're just going to go straight off into explaining what the plans are for the weekend that you guys would like them for you to join in with you. So if you guys are maybe like, if you maybe just ask like, hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? I'm not really going out anywhere, and I was deciding to go for like a walk on a trail, and I thought you would be interested because you like to exercise or something like that. But really excite them up and build it up for them by offering them details. Like, I really know this cool walking trail, which is like, it's got beautiful flowers or like a lot of trees, and it's a really quiet and nice area. It really feels calm and stuff. So really explain the plan that you have in like a very lighthearted manner. So everything that you love about the plan, just share it with them when you ask them if they would like to, go out on this outing or date with you. Okay? And with the star coming in the background, that's again the idea of sharing your vision and your dream of like this outing and how it's going to be, like your expectations of how it's going to go. As well as with the Six of Cups is again a card of sharing your abundance and your happiness and your wealth. So again, this idea of sharing what you like about this plan or this outing and why you are going, and you just thought that they might be interested because you heard that they like to exercise or they like the nature or outdoors, things like that. Okay? So try to get them excited by first clearly and confidently just calmly going up to them and being like, hey, doing this weekend, do you want to hang out maybe? And then tell them like what plans you have in particular with the specific things that make you happy about this plan. Like, it's a really calm place, or it really, like, there's like a lot of fresh air, so it really, like, cleanses your spirit, or like encourages you and adds more energy to your life and things like that. I don't know what you guys would say, but like things that make you happy about this plan, share it with them, and then they would be more likely to actually accept the outing, rather than if you just went up to them and asked them like, do you want to hang out this weekend? They might make some excuse, or they might say that they're busy or something like that. Okay, so pile one, I asked if there were any obstacles to actually doing this action so that the relationship could become better with whichever person you guys are thinking about. And the Two of Coins came out in reverse. And I think you guys may be either worried about being able to balance this effort that you guys are spending on making this relationship better with your own personal life and goals. Or you guys could be also worried how they're going to react because you're not super close to them. So technically they're like almost like a stranger to you, or it's kind of like when a child isn't so sure about a person, right? When they're really young, like children when they're young, like even though they see their cousins every weekend or something, they'll forget the person, and then the next weekend they come, they're shy again, right? Until like half an hour passes by, then they remember, okay, this person was someone nice and kind. It's kind of that vibe that I'm getting, like, because you guys don't have a super like deep connection with each other, it may be a little bit worrisome for you in thinking of how they're going to react to your question or not. But don't worry about that. They'll be fine. And that's also reiterated in this Wheel of Fortune card. Okay, it's some, like, the obstacle is that you're worried about how they'll react. Are they going to react nicely, or are they going to react like confused and kind of not want to talk to you again, or like, be like, okay, this person is weird. I don't really want to hang out with them like as often as we do. Yeah, but the same card also says that you kind of have to leave it up to fate and just see how things play out. Like, don't worry so much about their reaction and just enjoy yourself actually talking about the plan rather than, worrying about their reaction to it. And again, the Queen of Cups. So being in control of your emotions. So don't really attach yourself to how they're going to react and think about your proposal. Just really be in tune with your own emotions and share what makes you happy about the plan, and it'll be fine. Yeah, with this Three of Swords, like, don't try to sacrifice yourself or basically like worry yourself to death about what this person is thinking. Okay? And just explain yourself in an enjoyable way. And pile one, the final question that I asked was, how can we prevent this obstacle, or how can we deal with this obstacle so that it doesn't disrupt this action? And the World card came out in reverse. So basically, for those concerned about how this for those that have the obstacle of balancing their personal life with the effort that's going into this relationship life, and you're worried about how are you going to balance both of those energies, like physical and mental and emotional energies that you have to put into both of those things, you don't have to worry about it, because really what's happening is you are already doing the thing that you are asking this person out to come with you on. Okay, so it's like you already had the plan. For example, okay, since we're sticking with the forest trail example, you were already going to go on a walk on that trail. Okay, that's kind of like your routine on the weekends or something, right? It kind of grounds you and makes you rebalance for the week ahead. And now what you're doing is basically inviting this person that you want to make the relationship better with into your world. Okay? So you don't have to worry about balancing your personal life with this relationship. It's more like this relationship is entering your personal life. So whatever you were already doing in your personal life, that energy is still being used there. But now you're just inviting someone else into that activity so that they can use their own energy in that activity with you. Okay? And what you are going to do alone, the only energy that you're really expending on top of that is just getting to know them better. That's it. So you're talking to them on the trail. That's pretty much it. So there's no question of like how are you going to balance it, because it's not like you're taking them out on dates. That would be specifically something that you would have to prepare for. It's more like you already had plans and you invited them onto your plans. And for those of you concerned about how they're going to react because they don't know you that well and they might judge you based on like, you know, worldly perceptions, or like what is the world going to think, or like what is this like appropriate society-wise, like to ask them out on this outing or date or whatever, right? Don't worry too much about that, because when you are more concerned about whether this activity or plan makes you happy, and you share that with this person, your positivity is actually going to attract them and make this activity seem much more pleasant and something that they would actually be interested in doing. So the more that you share your own happiness with this activity and the pros about it, basically, that kind of get you interested in this activity, the more they'll see your positivity about this outing, and the more they'll be willing to actually accept your invitation. Okay? And with this Page of Swords in reverse, that's basically a confirmation again with this idea that you kind of have to go on your own journey and just be concerned about what you want to do. Don't be too concerned about what, you know, the little birds are talking in your ear, or if there's like a certain place that you have to get to or anything like that. Don't be too concerned about that. And yeah, with the Ace of Coins, again, it's the idea of taking your reality into your own hands and really focusing in on these points outside here rather than focusing in on what the world decides is the right approach or the right thing to do in your situation. Yeah, and Temperance and backwards is, again, that would be like the opposite of Patience. So that would be more of like kind of just going with the flow and doing the things that make you happy and make you passionate and energized. Okay, Palawan, I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. And yeah, I hope you guys have a happy, healthy, curious, and instinctually blessed week. Bye, guys. Okay, welcome, Pile 2, to your reading. As with Pile 1, I'm just going to put the disclaimer out right now. If you like this reading and it resonates, please hit the thumbs up on the video. If you would like to watch more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And if you have any feedback or questions or comments, please do leave them in the comment box below so that I can get better at doing readings and I can give you more accurate, detailed, and enjoyable readings in the future. Okay? So now getting into your reading, you guys picked this lipstick, which is called Sassy. And this is a dark lipstick, like it's kind of like a dark chocolate brown mixed with like a little bit of red. So like maybe like a maroon or a burgundy, okay? And just from the vibe of this lipstick, it seems like what you guys should do to make this relationship better with whoever person you asked about, or the adjective that you asked specifically about in terms of the relationship. Basically, I'm seeing that you have to kind of be firm and confident and hold your ground and let them do most of the talking and appealing to you. Let them come to you and let them, kind of initiate the conversation and let them do most of the talking. And you can listen to them and kind of observe them, but it's not in a sense that you're totally closed off to them. It's more like once you kind of give them signals and signs that kind of encourage them to approach you. And you should be paying attention to them when they're talking and giving them subtle clues to let them know that you do want this relationship to be happening and to be continuing, but try to let them do most of the talking and the appealing. Okay, you have to be like a Bratz person. I believe it was Sasha, the black Bratz. You have to embody her spirit, okay? So she's gentle and she listens and she's attentive to the person that she wants to actually have a relationship with, but at the same time, she's very confident and firm in what she holds valuable and believes in. And she does not stray away from that path just because a relationship comes into it. She really wants the other person to kind of put their best foot forward so that she knows that this relationship is worth investing in and worth giving her attention to this person. Okay, now let's get started with your reading. Okay, so pile 2, I asked the question how do you make your relationship better with whichever person you guys are thinking about? Now replace the adjective better with whatever adjective you guys were asking about. I'm just going to ask better because that's the adjective that I kind of wanted to stick with, and I can't read your minds. Plus, this is a general reading, so multiple people can have different adjectives that they use to ask the question. So I'm using the word better. So the card that came out for you was the High Priestess. So again, it's just confirming what we got from your lipstick that you chose. It's this vibe of really observing and analyzing them and listening to them to kind of decide whether this is the truth or whether they're lying, whether they're exaggerating their conversation pieces and the things about them, or are they actually being sincere and truthful and maybe just exaggerating a little bit to make it interesting for you, but there is mostly truth to what they're saying. So it's very much a patient energy and a very much an observant energy. So you need to observe them and listen to them and analyze what they're saying and what they're doing to kind of decide, is this person worth me actually investing myself and my time into this relationship? And I feel like this might be a new person that's in your life and not really like an old person that you have a relationship with. It might be someone you met recently at a party or at work or someplace that you frequent often. Or it might be someone that approached you even though you were within the same vicinity for quite a while, but you guys had never talked to each other before. So it could be that now you guys are talking for the first time. So just recently started talking. So therefore, this person would be like someone that you'd be talking to as a new person. And with this overall energy of the Fool, it's again this idea that it is a new person and it is someone who you are, again, kind of giving them signs or signals to approach you, but at the same time, you are very much in an observant mode because you kind of have your back turned towards them, but it's not completely, right? So you're not super disinterested, but you're also not super interested. You're kind of on a neutral ground and just seeing how things go. And yeah, with the King of Cups in the background, again, it's a controlling of your emotions and just really using your logic and your analysis skills to kind of decide and judge whether this person is worth your time and your emotions and your heart. And with the Ace of Wands in reverse, it is again this idea of not overthinking things, but also not underthinking things, not really going with your emotions, but more so with the details that are being gathered and observed as you decide whether this relationship is something you want to continue or, just keep it to this casual, friendly relationship that you have right now. Okay, so pile 2, I asked the question, what should you guys be looking at or observing for in specifics to decide whether you should further the relationship with this person or not? And the cards that came out were the Ace of Cups. Sorry about the lights that are flashing. The Ace of Cups, the Moon, the Ace of Pentacles, and Death. So starting off with Death and Ace of Pentacles, we can already see that the number one thing that you guys should be focusing in on is when they're talking, notice their facial expressions, especially their eyes. Because their eyes are very honest eyes, and if you look into them and they're talking about something, you will be able to automatically tell if they're telling the truth or if they are kind of exaggerating and telling a lie. Now, there could be a moment where they are kind of exaggerating a story or a characteristic trait or something like that when they're talking about themselves or what happened over the weekend or whatever, but it's more to make it's more of like a lighthearted exaggeration rather than trying to manipulate you and your thoughts on them. But you'll be able to tell immediately that they're exaggerating the story and it's not really like the full truth, right? Or not per se the full truth, but more so like not the actual truth. It's a exaggerated version of the truth. But also if they are lying and they're being insincere when they're talking, you'll be able to tell that as well. Especially because their facial expressions when they're lying change very minutely. So you have to notice these subtle changes in their facial expression, like their lips will twitch or one of their lips might upturn into like a little bit of a smile. Their eyes may start squinting like every once in a while when they're in the conversation, or their jaws might clench a little bit. So really focus on their facial expressions and specifically their eyes to kind of understand whether they're lying or telling the truth or just exaggerating the truth. And then finally, you also want to observe the way that they kind of dress themselves and the way that they carry themselves, because that's going to tell you a lot about whether this person's characteristics are confident or kind of weird, okay? In like a creepy way. And I would say notice how well taken care their hands are. Their hands will kind of tell you, like if they're not well taken care of at all, that'll kind of tell you that this person is reckless and impulsive and someone who doesn't really know how to take care of their things. And is actually like kind of like a habitual liar or something. Someone who's got like a teenager rebellious spirit, okay? And then if their hands are too manicured and too well taken care of, you might have to be a little bit careful about that as well, because that could mean that they're very controlling and possessive and very like strict with how they take care of things and the way that they like to do things. And they might be like a little bit possessive. So they may be someone who just likes to talk a lot about themselves rather than letting the other person talk. Okay? But their hands should be clean and well taken care of, just like on an average level, okay? To let you know that this person is someone who's confident and down to earth, grounded, humble and gentle, and someone who takes care of their things in like a loving and patient way. Yes, and you should also be concerned about how they treat others around them. Okay, so like how do they call the waiter over or someone over to take their order, or how do they call people that they want to call over? How do they call them? Do they call them like in a rough and brutish way? Treating them like inferiorly or very aggressively, or do they call them over politely and in a nice and casual manner as if they're like their friends or something? You should also be looking at how they treat their friends specifically. I wasn't seeing their loved ones that much, but loved ones could be in there as well. But I was seeing mostly friends. what do their friends think of them, and how do they like behave when they're with their friends and when they're with you? How do they treat their friends even if they're standing like a little bit away from you guys? And what's the vibe of their friends when you guys are together alone only, but their friends are nearby? How do they react to you guys being together, basically? Okay? And with this Two of Wands, in the overall energy, you can see it's kind of, she's kind of looking into the skull's eyes and deciding, it kind of gives me the vibes of like the girl asking the skull, like, are you telling me the truth, or are you going to tell me the truth or not? Kind of like that type of vibe. So she's really questioning and really looking deep into this skull's soul to decide what's the actual truth of the matter and what's actually happening. Yeah, and again, with the Seven of Wands, it's again this energy of kind of protecting yourself from the environmental factors and the outside factors, and making a decision based on each of these things that you notice about the person. Okay? And yeah, finally with the Hanged Man, it's clarifying that, are you actually putting this rose into the proper area that you want to put into, or just a piece of fog that is not where you want to invest your energy, time, and effort into building a relationship with this person. Okay? All right, so now we're going to look at obstacles. All right, so the obstacle that could kind of stop you from observing this person, whoever this relationship you are asking about for, is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So that basically means that it's your personality is the obstacle, because you're a very kind-hearted and open person, and when you see someone else who's very kind-hearted, open, and lively, and bubbly, and social, just like you open up to them very easily because you feel like they're on the same vibe length as you, and you feel like they are the same type of person as you. Don't worry, I kind of have this issue too. And that would be one of the obstacles to kind of prevent you from kind of leaning back and being confident in yourself, and just analyzing this person before heading into the relationship. Because usually if you see that the vibe matches with you and they're also lively and bubbly, just like you are lively and bubbly, you kind of project your own good characteristic traits on that person, and you rush into the relationship, basically. Okay? And that can be seen with your overall cards being Seven of Pentacles. This is basically that because you're so kind-hearted and open, and that can kind of blind you. Your goal is to basically be like their best friend, right? And that's kind of like the Black Swan's goal was to be loved by everyone and to be the one that's like the chosen one, right? But because of her blind ambition to complete that goal, or because of your blind ability to kind of just jump into a relationship without considering the ifs, buts, and whys, you tend to become very self-sacrificing in the relationship and tend to start making excuses for any flaws or weaknesses that come up later. But by then it's too late to kind of step out of the relationship because you've already jumped into it so quickly that you've started to build a very close bond with the person. And this can be reiterated in this Eight of Swords right behind it, that not only are you self-sacrificing and blinded by the opportunity to kind of have a friend that matches well with you, but because of that, you are kind of sleeping in on their actual intentions behind their actions. You don't understand why they do certain things, or you also don't kind of tend to focus in on a lot of their actions. It's kind of like selective memory or selective hearing, right? You only want to see the things that support your belief that this person is someone that's like you and has the same characteristics and thinking as you, just because of your first impression that they were social and bubbly like you. And then with this Eight of Cups in the back as well in reverse, that just confirms again that you tend to head into relationships with a lot of emotional expectation plus also a lot of emotional investment, and that can make it hard to turn back when you realize that this relationship is not how you were expecting it to be and this person is not the type of person that you had thought initially. Okay? All right, so pile 2, I asked, what can you do to kind of avoid this obstacle or destroy this obstacle so that it doesn't disrupt your action taking of observing the person that you are asking about before jumping into a relationship with them. Okay, and we got the 3 of Wands with the 7 of Pentacles in the overall energy again. Okay, let me just see if I can move the slide a little bit. Okay, so the 3 of Wands, basically that means that you need to take baby steps or 3 steps towards actually building a relationship. You can see that this person is kind of she's standing on her legs and she's moving forward, but she's moving forward very slowly. It's almost like she approaches the person step by step after she's confirmed that it is safe to move on. And she's also standing in all of this chaos, but she's not fazed by it. She's kind of accepting that as the natural environment. And she's taking things into her own hand and deciding, okay, this is good for me or this is bad for me. And how should I kind of control the negative elements of this environment or the factors in this environment to my benefit or to my to help my goal and me proceed forward and help me decide whether I should step forward or not. And she's stepping forward step by step, and then she kind of like stands in place because you can see like her body's like slightly turned, but it's not all the way turned away, right? So she's not like stuck in place, but she's moving slowly and taking steps after she's made a judgment on whether she should or shouldn't proceed forward. Okay, whether it's safe for her to do so or not. And that's the same thing that you need to do as well. You need to take small steps towards building any relationship that you are interested in building. So the very first step would be to actually observe the person that you're kind of interested in building a relationship with from afar. Just observe them throughout the night. If you want, you can... No, actually, I would not do that. Just observe them, okay? And then once you feel like, okay, this person seems chill or this person seems like their energy and their personality seems pretty consistent throughout the night or whatever, then you can actually go ahead and approach them and introduce yourself. And even when you do introduce yourself and approach them, try to be as calm and as much in this high priestess energy as possible. Don't hide your personality and your positivity and bubbliness, but also don't try to make, don't try to be desperate in trying to build a relationship with them. Just get to know them first and try to just talk to them, have a casual and normal conversation with them. And then by the end of the night, if you think that this person is someone that not only has a consistent personality and behavior with the people around him or her, but also their interests and their hobbies and the way that they think about things or approach things is something that kind of matches your values and your mindset, then you can, go ahead and ask them for their number or their Instagram and or hang out with them like eventually on a weekend or something like that. And take that next step to actually, get to know them a little bit more better. I just saw that maybe you should watch pile 1 to kind of get tips on how to approach people, how to approach whoever this person is. Watch the part where I tell them what action they can actually take to actually make the relationship better. So pile 1, what action should they take? Okay. So in the overall energy, we got the 7 of Pentacles. So again, it's the same card, but instead of being self-sacrificing, this is more of like an observant card to kind of protect yourself. Know what your goals are for relationships and what your intentions are for a relationship. What type of person you want to actually be in a relationship with. Okay, and then decide whether this person is actually filling those expectations. Don't sacrifice yourself just because you think their outside looks fun or like it matches you, And again, with the Eight of Swords in the background. So again, it's this idea that you have to kind of be patient and decide. I'm focusing in on this 2 over here. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, this light is like really blinding, but I don't know. Maybe you guys can see the 2 over here just above her head on the clock in the background. But that's kind of like, because it's near her head, it's almost like you need to make a decision and decide whether the what step to take to kind of decide whether this person should be approached in terms of a longer term relationship. So yeah, this Eight of Swords is more about action, but a patient action, a focused action, rather than, you know, trying to ignore what they're doing. And then with this Fool energy, it's again approaching things slowly. This is very much giving me like Alice in Wonderland vibes, where they were kind of rushing to paint the roses red, even though they planted white roses by accident. And over here, it seems like she's not in a rush to paint these roses pink. She's very much just gently painting them, and she doesn't even care if anyone's looking, and she's kind of like, okay, you're looking, so what? It doesn't matter to me. You can look all you want. I'm just going to keep on going at my own pace and doing what I want to do. So that's the kind of energy that you have to embody. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not super desperate for this relationship. I'm just going to do the things that I need to do to decide whether this relationship is something that I actually want to pursue and spend my time and energy and my love and my heart into and my emotions into. Or is it something that I'm just going to, you know, have a casual conversation with you once and then just, you know, move on with my life and invest my time in other things that I actually am interested in doing. Okay? So pile 2, sorry. I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy, healthy, blessed, and instinctual week. Bye, guys. Okay, welcome pile 3 to your reading, and as with pile 1 and 2, I did give everyone a disclaimer. If this reading is something that, please give a thumbs up on the video. If you would like to watch more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And if you guys have any sort of feedback, comment, questions, or anything, pros or cons or anything like that about the reading, please do leave them in the comment box below. I do take a look at them so that I can make the reading more enjoyable and more accurate and detailed as I get better and better at doing readings. Okay, now continuing on with the actual reading. So I asked the cards what you guys can do to make your relationship better. Now replace that with whatever adjective you want, because I'm not a mind reader, and so I can't read multiple people's and viewers' minds of what adjective they chose. But replace it with whatever adjective you guys had asked in the question, and with pertaining to your person, okay? Whoever that may be. Now, you guys picked this Snow White lipstick, so just off the bat, what you guys need to do is literally embody the Snow White spirit of just kind of going with the flow of things and accepting them as they come. Don't be so worried about every single little detail and thing, and be a little bit more trusting of the person that you're talking about in this reading, or you're asking about in this reading. Yeah, really embody that innocent spirit of just kind of letting things happen and go with the flow. I think you guys are really concerned about the relationship, and you guys shouldn't be. You guys should kind of pull back your efforts a little bit. I think you guys are a little bit too active in making the relationship work. But what you don't understand is, just like this lipstick looks like it's like a dark red shade, but when I actually apply it, it's a very bright red, okay? So just like this lipstick, it looks like the relationship has gone dull and it's a very tough relationship that doesn't have any romance in it. But when you actually look at the inside of the relationship and the foundation of the relationship, it's a very strong and very positive and confident relationship. It's not got any cracks or anything like that inside of it. And it's a very smooth relationship, but you need to learn to kind of let go of fixing the relationship and keeping it strong and confident and smooth. And you just need to learn to let things go with the flow a little bit and really just enjoy the relationship and be more trusting of whoever this person is that you were asking about. Okay, so pile 3, I asked what can you guys do to make your relationship better with whichever person you guys are asking about. And we got the 4 of chalices or the 4 of cups. And usually I see this card as like a almost like a little bit of a depressing card, because it feels like this girl is like thinking about her situation and she feels like she's stuck all alone and isolated on this island, which is kind of far away from this castle in the background. But with you guys, it seems that you guys need to stop doing this thinking. You guys are putting yourselves into this position and trying to focus on all of these emotions and situations going on around you, but you don't even realize that you could literally just jump off this island and swim to shore to this like super close castle right there, to your home sweet home. So it seems like you guys are putting yourselves into this situation. You guys are overthinking the situation and thinking too much about whether the relationship is working out or whether the relationship has cracks in it or flaws or anything like that. So you guys need to stop doing that. And with this apple, I'm seeing it like it doesn't look like it's attached to the actual tree. It looks like it's balanced on the stem. It's almost like this apple has to kind of fall and bonk you on the head for you to wake up from this stupor that you've put yourself in, this like thinking kind of self-hypnosis that you've done on yourselves, to be constantly just be like worried about the relationship and melancholy about it. And once this apple just kind of like bonks you on the head, that's when you guys are going to wake up and realize like, oh, I gotta go home, you know? And then you'll be like, okay, well, I don't need to worry about all this stuff. I just need to get home. And then you'll just swim very quickly and get there in like a few minutes or whatever. Okay? And with the overall energy of King of Coins in reverse, that's, again, confirming this idea that you guys need to stop doing this. It's realizing that you are already safe and protected in this beautiful relationship right here. This crowning relationship, okay? And again, this energy is that you guys are turned away from the castle that is actually pretty close to you guys in the back. And you guys, this rabbit always looks like a little bit like pettily pissed off in this card to me. And that's kind of like the vibe that you guys are embodying right now. Like, you guys are almost in this vibe of like, no, I don't want to, listen to the truth or acknowledge that this relationship is going fine. I need to fix something in this relationship. There has to be something to fix. But you guys need to realize that there is literally nothing to fix. You guys are making your own problems by thinking that there needs to be something to fix. And that could just be like your anxiety, or maybe that's how you approach relationships. I don't know. Maybe it could have been like something from your childhood trauma, or like maybe just the way you guys were raised, where you guys think that if there's nothing going wrong in the relationship, then there has to be some more deeper level problem that there has to be there. But that's not the case. If something is going smoothly in your life, just accept it for what it is and don't be so suspicious about it. Just trust the process, And this can be, again, reiterated with this Emperor coming out in reverse. You want to be in control of things, and seeing things go smoothly can sometimes make you think that you aren't aware of something that's going on in the background, or the relationship is not really in your control because there's something that you're not really quite seeing. And again, it's this idea of being suspicious for no reason. And yeah, with this Temperance card, you guys need to stop shifting your emotions and interests into different places in the relationship. Like, stop trying to find problems to put your energy into. And it could also be the fact that you guys are actually creating these problems by overthinking the situation a little bit too much, okay? So you need to be more patient and decide to kind of expel these emotions that are unnecessary and these thoughts that are just kind of like basically driving you crazy about the relationship, and just take that cup and throw it out, okay? Take those emotions and those thoughts and throw them out, because you do not need to worry. Okay, so I asked the question, what can you guys do to actually like wake yourself up from this like overthinking or thinking self-hypnosis thing that's going on, or like trying to create problems out of your own anxiety or your own overthinking, okay? So the very first two cards are the Magician and the Three of Coins. So in both of these pictures, you can kind of see that there is this idea of smoke. Let's see, this idea of smoke, and both of these things have to do with the physical realm, right? Because you can see pentacles over here, or the coins, and this person is holding a lamp that's creating the smoke. And then in the Magician, it's this person, the Magician is holding like a wand or something, right? And the smoke is coming out of a goblet, okay? So again, both drinking things, and there's like a lot of smoke in there that is kind of affecting your physical reality. And because a Magician is here, right? And this Three of Coins is kind of coming out of like the cloud smoke of your thoughts, matches the color of this person over here that's actually giving you all these thoughts, right? It's definitely a confirmation that you are kind of creating your own problems by thinking too much about things, okay? And basically what you need to do, and this could be that other people around you, like maybe your friends or close people, that are just concerned about you maybe, or some of them may not be concerned, some of them may actually not have that much knowledge on what a proper relationship looks like, and they may be getting anxious or suspicious just because the relationship looks too perfect or things like that. But they may be actually like asking you questions, or planting the seed, per to say, of doubt or suspicion in your mind, like, oh, this relationship is going too perfectly, or what if this is happening in the background, or like things like that. So just basically planting the seed in your brain, and then that seed kind of grows and grows and grows into your overthinking problem. And then you start getting suspicious about the relationship, and that's how the problems start getting created. And you think that you need to fix the relationship, or you need to do something better, but you really don't. What you do need to do is you need to tell those people that, you know what, like, see how this Magician is kind of pointing down at the goblet that's basically creating this smoke, and this wand is also pointing downwards, like with the bottom part of the wand, not even the top. And it's kind of like the Magician's like sticking it into the goblet smoke, and basically being like, it gives very much an energy of like trying to control this chaos that's happening. So it's very much an energy that you need to embody, is that you need to tell whoever's like, asking you questions about the relationship, or maybe being suspicious about the happiness or the positivity about the relationship, and planting negative thoughts or seeds in your head to kind of get you overthinking and unhappy with it. Or even if these are your own thoughts because of your own like trauma or way of perceiving relationships, causing these overthinking fears and questions, you need to tell both of those things, to just like really clearly and really firmly tell them, you know what, I'm not interested in this type of conversation. I don't need these types of negative vibes in my life. If the relationship is going well, all good and well. If it's not, and if it seems like suspicious or something, you know what? Just let it go how it's going, and we'll see at the end, how it plays out. And just as a personal advice to you, waiting out is better than, like, if you don't have any actual evidence of anything going on, and it's all just what ifs or questions or suspicions, and no actual hardcore evidence, and you're like kind of overthinking, and your thoughts are just becoming more and more suspicious as you overthink and ask more questions, that's really just getting you into a negative and toxic cycle where you're going to start actually brainwashing yourself into thinking that the relationship, that there is something wrong with it when there isn't. And that is when people start getting called crazy in a relationship, because they start acting out those suspicions and treating the other person as if they have done something, even though the person accusing doesn't really have any evidence of the other person doing anything. And it's all happening in their own head. They're just making assumptions, basically, and assuming them to be true, and then acting them out as that. So it'd just be better to, innocent until proven guilty type of thing. So just wait it out and just enjoy the relationship. If something bad does happen in the end, it's not that big of a deal. You guys can heal and move on from the relationship. Don't be so attached to relationships that you think that it's the end of the world. Yes, it hurts a lot, but at the same time, you're your own person, you're independent, you're self-sustaining. You were alive before they came into your life, and you'll be alive after they leave. And you never know, once you heal yourself, you'll get an actual proper healthy relationship, So don't worry about that thing. Just let things flow and then deal with them as they come, and you actually gain evidence. You don't want to be called crazy or like a suspicious person because you're acting out on your thoughts and not actual logic or facts. Okay? And you need to tell those people, you know what? I don't want this types of questions or suspicions or vibes going on around me. Just don't ask me about my relationship, or don't ask me questions like this about my relationship, because it really gets me overthinking and it can put me into a negative state, okay? And if they're your good friends, they'll understand. If not, then you should probably have a serious talk with them, I would say, in terms of like what a good friend should and shouldn't do. Yeah, and if it's your thoughts personally, then you need to tell your thoughts, you know what, I'm not listening to you right now, okay? And shove them to the back of your head, and then you can let them go during a yoga or a meditation cycle, session, or even like a therapeutic session, like going to therapy or counseling or something like that. So really let go and try to understand why those thoughts are coming up, and try to fix that issue of having those types of thoughts, without actual intention from yourself. Now, the other thing is the world, okay? So again, it's this idea that you have to control your thoughts. So the Ace of Wands or the One of Wands is the idea of controlling your thoughts. And just like the Magician's wand over here, they're both controlling the wands, right? And this hand is kind of popping out from the clouds. So it's almost as if you need to find the positivity in your thoughts. You need to kind of step out of this cloud or this fog of negative thinking and suspicions and things that are basically vapor. They don't really exist except for inside your mind, and they do not have any support in reality. And you need to kind of step out of that and be like, okay, well, this is what is actually going on, and this is what I'm actually observing in reality, and this is what's going to keep me going in this relationship. This is the positive thing that kind of stops all of this clouds from fogging my mind and decision making and analytical critical thinking skill in terms of this relationship. And then with the World in reverse, again, it's this idea of not listening to people around you that are giving you negative vibes, and not letting the outside environment or outside cues into making you think that there's something wrong with the relationship, or there's something happening in the background that you don't know about. You need to be very calm and with yourself and grounded, and just focus on yourself and enjoying the relationship. Don't worry about things that are going on outside or what other people are saying about the relationship, okay? Now, that is not to say that there is no such thing as red flags. If there are certain things that you have like physical proof or physical evidence, things that are actually happening in reality, those would be red flags that would add up to some things going on in the background. But if all of your suspicions are based on thoughts that start off with, well, this is going too well, so there must be something, then that is self-made red flags, basically. You're brainwashing yourself into thinking that there are red flags, and then you're going to start picking up on certain actions that you are, because you're basically going to try to find evidence against the person based on your assumption. And that's called a biased fallacy or something like that in logic thinking, where you've already assumed the answer and you're now trying to find evidence to support your answer. That's not how it works in court. You have an argument that you have to prove based on the evidence that you were provided, okay? So you look at all the evidence and then you make a decision. And that's how you should be doing in relationships as well. If there's a physical actions or cues or red flags that you're seeing actually in the relationship, sure. Sit down with your partner or with this person, whoever you are talking about, and try to figure out what's going on. But if your observing of these red flags is based on an assumption that you've already made, then you're just building a case against that person without even considering that they could be innocent. Okay? So yeah, really just enjoy the relationship and focus on yourself. Be more trusting of the person that you're asking about. And don't worry too much about what the world is thinking or how they perceive it and the questions that are kind of floating around in your head. All right, and with the overall energy, yes, we've got the Ten of Swords in reverse. So don't think yourself to death, okay? Don't hurt yourself with your own thoughts. And then with the Eight of Coins in reverse, again, this idea of kind of letting your thoughts go, okay? Don't hold on to them. Like, she's not holding on to these swans here, okay? She's just kind of sitting there calmly, and the swans are in the background. And I would say that these are kind of like her thoughts, but they're flying away one by one. So she's dealing with them one by one because she doesn't seem like annoyed or anything. She knows that they're there, but it doesn't seem like they're squawking or bothering her or anything like that. It's more like she's thinking about, okay, well, when is this one going to fly away and when is that one going to fly away? So it's like you dealing with your thoughts. And finally, there's the Ten of Cups. So this is a good, positive card. This basically suggests that you need to stop embodying this energy of like, I need to fly away, like fight or flight mode, and you need to start embodying this energy of trusting your partner or the person you're asking about, and just really learning to accept the positive relationship and the healthy relationship. Okay? Okay, so pile 3, I asked, what are the obstacles that could stand in your way to prevent you from actually taking place in these actions to be able to better this relationship, right? To get out of this overthinking self-hypnosis. And the answer was the Page of Cups or the Page of Chalices and the Two of Coins. So overall, it seems like you guys have a difficult time trusting people and opening up to people, no matter how innocent or nice they look. And you're always wondering and curious about them because you don't want to deal with the consequences that could possibly happen afterwards. You don't want to be hurt. And that is something that prevents you from opening up and being completely trusting of the relationship that you are in or whoever you're asking about in this reading. And this is confirmed by the overall cards, which is the Eight of Coins. So again, you're very analytical and very observant, but you can see like how this boy is kind of holding the clock far away from him. And it seems like all the other clocks in the background have the same time, right? So it's like you treat everyone the same and you don't really let anyone in. You're very much like a conservative person when you're dealing with relationships in general. And you tend to analyze and observe them from afar. Even if you like start talking to them or become friends with them, you're still very closed off to them in a sense, okay? And with this King of Cups coming out in reverse, it definitely seems like you're very controlling of your emotions, but not in a good way. Like, your negative emotions are really like kind of control the way that you react and act, but when your happy emotions come into play, you don't really share them that much, you know? You tend to kind of hold back because you don't want to open your positive self up to other people that much. And you can see like the King of Cups has like a ball in its mouth, so it's almost like you guys kind of stop yourselves from being emotionally secure and open sometimes, or most of the time. And then you can see that's backed up with this Eight of Chalices or this Eight of Cups, where this person seems like very longing and lonely for this home sweet home or this castle and the brightness and warmth it offers, but she's still kind of stuck on this island, and she's afraid or worried to move forward because of how she may be judged or how she may be treated in the castle. And it kind of reminds me of the Little Mermaid story, where the Little Mermaid has to give up her voice, right, to be able to get legs, because she's so concerned about what Prince Eric will think about her not being a human being and her being a little mermaid, that she gives up the thing that Prince Eric actually recognizes her by. And that's kind of like you giving up your own personality and your own emotions and your truth, basically, and your independent self for the ideals or the perspectives and social constructs of the world, and what you think that the world accepts as a good relationship. You know? Okay, so finally, pile 3, I asked what you guys can do to prevent this obstacle from disrupting these actions so that you can accomplish a healthy and positive relationship and prevent yourself from overthinking the relationship and just going with the flow and enjoying it. And the card that came out was Strength in Reverse. And that basically means that you guys need to be strong yourself, and that can that's basically reiterating this area where it's like you need to kind of control your thoughts and control any negative things going on around you, and tell them that you're not going to give them power and not letting them affect your positivity and mood. But also it means finding the strength in your relationship. So whoever this person is, find the positives about this person. Find the things that make you happy about this person, why you are in a relationship with this person in the first place. What makes this relationship a positive and happy one? Focus on those things rather than your negative thoughts or your suspicions, okay? And when you start focusing in on the strengths of the relationship, you'll actually realize that those are the exact reasons why the relationship is going well, and not because there's something else going on in the background. And your suspicions will fall apart because looking at those positive strengths of the relationship and the positive characteristic traits about the person that you are asking about is actually going to help you be more stronger and more confident in yourself in terms of the relationship, but also in terms of your decision-making ability pertaining to this person. The overall energy is 6 of Wands in reverse. And again, this is the idea of picking out the things that actually make you happy about the relationship and holding on to them, okay? Really trying to focus in on them and focus in on only those, maybe not only, but focus in on those things mostly to kind of understand why the relationship is going so well and why it's so strong. And again, with the King of Coins in reverse, you're, again, focusing in on this flower and this crown that you are in and you are surrounded by, rather than all of this castle stuff going on in the background. You see how the castle kind of blends into the background, but the rabbit and the roses and the crown are popping out right in the front. And that means that you need to focus on the positive things that you are surrounded by and the positive actions that this person does and the positive environments and moments that you guys have together, rather than worrying about, you know, things that happened in the past or things that are going on around you that aren't really that important or significant. And then finally, with the 7 of Cups, again, it's this idea of letting go and just really thinking about those happy moments in your life and going with the flow of things and just enjoying the moments that you guys have together. Okay, so pile 3, I hope you guys enjoyed your reading, and I hope you guys have a happy, healthy, blessed, wonderful, and instinctual week. Bye, guys.